Good morning, guys. To start off this upper body workout, what I'm going to do is warm up with a resistance band. This is a really good warm up for the shoulders. So I just take the band, I get a little bit of tension and try to keep the same tension the whole way through, and I bring it up and over my body. So I just do a couple of these until I feel like my shoulders are warmed up and then I've gotten all the clicks out. Right here, I'm just doing a variation where I do one at a time, going up and over. Again, just making sure I'm getting all of the clicks out of there and that my shoulders are ready to go. After this, I'll do a resistance band rear delt fly. I just make sure that I have a pretty good amount of tension. That way I can just keep this on my delts. I bring the resistance band right to my chest line and then I release from there. But I make sure that I don't bring my hands too close to each other because I don't want to lose attention in the band. And I just do a couple of these until I feel my rear delts on fire. Once I get to that point, I'll do a push kind of warm up. So either push-ups or with this resistance band, I'm just going to be doing a chest press. It's not a super intense warm up, but I like to do this one because prior to years in the past, I have hurt my shoulder from pushing movement, so I always like to warm up with some kind of pushing movement before I go in with my actual weights. And again, I just do this warm up until I gotten all the clicks out. So getting into the workout, I always start off my workouts with the main movement. It's usually the heaviest movement of the workout. So I'm starting off with an incline chest press. I have 60 pounds here, so I make sure that I keep my heels down all the way. My hips are on the bench the whole time. I have a pretty, I would say, aggressive arch in my low back, and I keep my chest up the entire way through. That way I can pull my shoulders back and engage the chest and front delt. So I am holding on to this bar as wide as I possibly can. Because I'm not working towards the triceps. I want to keep that focus more on the chest and, again, like I said, that front delt. Focusing on going slow on the way down, fast on the way up. So now moving on to the next movement, I'm doing a row. So this is kind of a variation that we've had to work with just because of the lack of gym equipment, but I'm doing a palms facing up grip this time, and I have my tummy supported, which is helping me keep control of my lower back. But I'm going to drive up with my elbows on this movement, squeeze my shoulder blades, and then I'm going to go nice and slow on the way down. Now moving on to the next movement, we have a shoulder press. I'm doing this one on the floor. That way I can just focus on my shoulders and I don't have to worry about engaging my core and focusing on making sure that my lower back isn't taking any of the weight. So that also with the shoulder press, I do have hypermobile joints, so my joints do go past sticking point. So with a movement like the overhead press, I make sure that I don't fully lock out my elbows. If you're someone who has shoulder problems or an elbow problem, you might want to try this as well. Just save your joints here, keep a small bend at the top, and you should be fine. So I'm doing this shoulder press for 4 sets and 10 reps each. The shoulders are one of the muscle groups that I do want to work towards keeping muscle and gaining muscle. So now moving on to the next one. This is the best thing I have for a lat pull down. So what I have is a resistance band attached to the top of the door, and I'm just going in with a single arm lat pull down. It isn't the best, but you have to do with what you got. And all I'm doing here is I'm making sure that I'm taking my time on the way up and I'm coming down and really squeezing my lat. It is tough to get that engagement, but if you just drive down with your elbow and don't give your wrist and your hand so much power, you should be able to work that lats. Now moving on to the next movement, I'm doing 3 sets of 15 reps of lateral raises. I do lateral raises on every single upper body day that I do in and out of the gym. So for the lateral raise, I make sure that I'm driving up with my elbow and not with my wrist. Also, to engage my lateral delt more, I'll kind of tilt my thumb down a little bit, but also notice how I'm not bringing up my elbows higher than shoulder level. If I did that, I would be gaining more action in my traps rather than my delts. So moving on, I'm doing 3 sets of 15 reps of a tricep extension. So I just attached a resistance band over the door, and I'm just going to make sure that from my shoulder to my elbows I do not move, and then from my elbows to my wrist I'm going down. So I'm doing that extension and squeezing my arm as much as I can at the bottom. Again, this doesn't beat a cable tricep extension, but in order to get more triceps, I'll just tilt my thumb downward when I'm at the bottom. Now, to superset this, I'm going to be doing 3 sets of 15 reps of bicep curls. I think we all know what a bicep curl is, but I'm just going to keep my shoulders back, my chest is up, and I'm bringing that bar up high, but I'm not bringing it up so high where it's banging into my shoulders. That's a mistake I see a lot, because if you bring the bar up too high, your elbows are just going to shoot too far forward, and then you're going to be taking away that tension from the bicep. So I just make sure that I go up regular speed, and I try to take it slower on the way down. I'm telling you, my biceps were on fire by the end of this. So thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's workout. Have a great day.